beyond. Go beyond. Go beyond the game. Hello and welcome to another episode of Dingus Hammer. So today we're gonna be studying the replay from the game that I had against Joe Flint. Warriors versus Empire. He wanted to try his list and make some adjustments before the Bighorn GT. So that's why I'm recording this video right now and releasing it right now after the lists are out there already. So here we are. Here are the lists. So here is the Empire list. You can pause it if you want to. Here is the Warriors list. You can pause it if you want to. And let's get into the game, right? So, full screen. That's as good as it gets. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to zoom in at least. So, this is the deployment type, the one that gives you the big middle or big flanks, what's called encircle. And the secondary is capture the flags. I was able to, I rolled higher for choosing sides, so I chose sides. And when deploying, I thought that, when choosing sides, I thought that Joe would choose to deploy all out. So, because he had a shooting army, long ranges and all that. So I chose the top because it had provided a wall with a forest, with a house, a hill, plenty of covers to survive his first turn of shooting and to move out from behind. But Joe actually chose to start second. He chose me to deploy the first unit, so I decided to use this opportunity to deploy all out, so that I would have to only eat one round of his shooting before we get to close combat. So I decided to deploy like that, and I'm gonna go from left to right. So we got the Feldrak Elder with pair weapons. We got the Feldraks with 5 Heldraks with halberds, Banner of Discipline Musician Champion. Actually, there is Champion that's showing up here, but full command basically with the Banner of Discipline. Unit of Warhounds. Wars and Warrior Knights with Greed, the Icon of Infinite, full command. Unit of Last Warriors with full command. Wizard is over here with evocation. So basically I can flee the unit and then roll them on minimized. Here's magical heirloom and parapens. Then we got the Chosen Lord. He's a 1-up, 4-up, burning portent, gluttony, Virson, and lack of the dark gods. And in the unit, his delivery unit, which are 9 barbs with shield, full command, banner of speed, giving them movement 9. Then we got my Felder Ancestor that has parapets and symbol of slaughter, giving him 9 strength and attacks, and another unit of hounds. And I deployed like that because I looked at the board and I thought that Joe has kind of 2 options. He could deploy on the right side using the hill, and I thought that he would actually choose to do that, deploy some shooting over here, pretty much deploy in over here. Or second option was that he would deploy over here, trying to use ruin. So my thought was that I'll park the ancestor behind the hill, and I'll push up to try to swarm him on the right side really quickly. But in case he deploys on the left side, I have this Eldar on the left, and I have the Feldraks positioned in such a way that they can reach the wall over here to get distracting and hard cover. While this unit is so fast that with movement 918 that it can come over here, even over here, with a lot of flanking potential, with knights trailing behind kind of over here, the Feldraks and my ancestor making his way through the behind the forest for my one-shooting over here. So that was my plan. What I didn't expect was that Jello would deploy in the center. I thought that this forest would discourage him, but it did not. So here we are. Let's go through his stuff. So he has a unit of rangers, unit of flagellants. What are these guys called? Heavy infantry, state militia, crossbows with a wizard there. I'm not sure if it's divination or cosmology over there. Steam tank, the buff wagon, the one that gives him distracting. I mean the arcane engine. Arcane shield with adept alchemy. His Imperial Guard with Banner of Unity full command, swordboard and shield, 2 units of militia, hand gunners with a wizard, flagellants, and rangers. So I looked at this deployment and I was like, all right, the plan hasn't changed. I have to rush you. And I have to make sure that these guys don't go around and keep shooting at my big scary ancestor, right? His steam tank is over here. So what choice do I have? If I go slowly, he's just gonna shoot me off the board. So I have to rush. So this is what I did. I moved my Eldar behind the hill, so facing front for these flagellants, but giving him hard cover in case they're shooting. But the flagellants actually can't charge, they're so far away. And maybe I should have played him farther along over here and actually have a potential further risk getting wounds on him, because overloading the saturation of the target is so high that he would not actually shoot this guy. Maybe I even should have gone all the way and give him the charge in hopes that I get to fight in his round, my round, and then I'll kill the unit and I can charge. But at this point, I decided to do like that. I decided to keep those walls behind. I released the hounds over here to move them so that the rangers would not be able to move outside of the line of sight over here and do some shenanigans running around. So here we are. I casted the bounce spell on the militia. I rolled 2 ones for the 2d3s. I got 1 wound through. And then I tried to cast the snipe on the tank, and yeah, and Jolo just stopped it. I 5 dice it? Yeah, I 5 dice it even. I was like, well, screw it. This is the spell that I wanted, and Jolo was like, well, screw it. This is the spell that I want to stop. So, can't say that magic was very eventful. I just didn't have anything else really to cast because of my wizard is too far away to cast his normal spell, so it's just I had a range for my hair tariff from the champion over here. I had a range for the snipe, or I had a range to do 1 wound. So I decided that trying to 5 dice the snipe was probably the best use of those dice, even though it was risky. So here we are, first round, first turn for me, and here we are on Jolo's run. So no, he doesn't do any charges. He moves the flagellants as far as possible, moves the militia on the hill also, pushes this militia, opens up the handgunners, and well, he gets card number 1. He casts Ice and Fire on the Barbed Horseman. He rolls pretty high, 14. I decided not to try to stop it, so he rolled 8 hits, that's 5 wounds. I save 2 of them, so he gets 3 wounds, and then he casts the Quicksilver Lash on the Knights, and I roll all my dice to stop it, and I try to fail it, obviously, but I barely got it. So he did not get the Quicksilver Lash. And then we go to shooting, and his 9 Rangers put 3 wounds on my Ancestor. So, woohoo! That's a good start. I thought that he would be trying to, clear the walls, maybe panic them, or that he would be trying to shoot the Ancestor, like put maybe a 1 wound on it. Nope, he goes balls the wall. 3 wounds. So good start, and then he follows it up with shooting my holding of the of barbarians. So my chosen lord is the last one left over here, and then he follows this up with shooting his crossbows and doing 5 wounds to Feldrax with. So that between the crossbows and I guess militia and the rangers. So here we are. I did not expect the things to go that wrong. I mean, I did expect that I might lose the barbarians. I expected I might lose like a wound over here, maybe 2. I expected that I'm gonna get a couple of wounds here. Overall, pretty darn good first round of shooting for Juggle. And I looked at the situation and I was like, well, still I don't have much choices. I have to go in. So I decided that I'm going to charge the Flagellants. I'll charge. They're probably going to do like 2 wounds to me. I'll kill like 9 attacks, hitting him on 2s, wounding on 2s. So I'm thinking like, well, I'm going to get like 7 wounds, and I'm going to use my breath weapon. That's going to be another 3 wounds. So that would go to 10, and then Thunderstorm. Maybe I can clear the unit if I'm a little bit lucky. If not, then I'll clear his unit on his turn, which is going to be even better, because then he will have like 2 or 3 attacks, maybe 5 attacks at me, maybe do another wound, but then I'll be able to pivot and on my turn choose where I'm going to charge. The alternative was that I could have charged those militia guy. I actually could have wheeled over here, but then I was like, well, he's on a flee, either from. Well, I don't think like even if he doesn't flee, like what does it give me? I'm gonna end up over here, pivot, and get shot off the board with literally everything else. So this didn't look like a very good idea. I charged the walls into the rangers. I'm like, well, I got to get rid of them somehow. Too bad that I had the hounds released already. Maybe I could have gone without releasing the hounds somewhere over here, but oh well. And then I have a picture of it. Yes, so those are the charges. So then I still have to charge the flank and the front flank with the my potent guy, and the front with the Feldrax to make sure that I can wipe the tank off with magic support in 1 turn. And I charge the Eldar into the Rangers because I can go here and then make 90 degree angle. So he actually flees from that. I failed to redirect. I could have redirected into the flank of those Flagellants with the same idea. Charge flank. He has only 2 attacks. I clear most of the unit between the attacks and Thunderstomp. He turns around in his turn. Hopefully I can clear the unit and charge again on my turn with having a pivot, so I could have free reign. I didn't really have an idea what to do with those knights. I could have gone to the tank, but I really wanted to use the halberds on the Feldrax. And I guess I could have gone into the Imperial Guard, but with the distracting, that was a tough choice. I could have gone at the militia. He flees. What do I do then? So I decided not to charge with them. I don't think I saw those Flagellants over here. Maybe if I could charge. I didn't check if I don't think I can see those Flagellants over here neither. I'm looking at it. I didn't look at it back then. So yeah, maybe I should have gone to the Imperial Guard. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments what do you think. What should I have done over here? Um, but this is what I actually did. So this is what happens after the charges. I fail, even Joe fled like 3 inches, I failed to catch. The rest were, I managed to get my load in, the rest was pretty much auto, and I'm chuffing here with the wolves. So he would charge, he will be able to charge at night, and then I have a counter charge at him. So here we are, and here is the magic phase. I get rerolls to hit on the Feldrax because they're strength 6. So I also want to have all the hits, but the spell that I wanted to have was reroll to wound, and I think the lethal strike. No, not just reroll to wound because he has evidence, so just a simple one, and Jolo just throws all the dice at it, of course, tapping it. So we got into combat, right? The wolves are pretty easily cleared the Imperial Rangers. I kill 3 Rangers, he kills 1 wolf. I have a charge and 2 extra wounds. He fails his discipline check and flees off the board. I fail to restrain, and I pursue off the board with him. Then we go into combat with flagellants, and things are not looking great. So I roll. This is what I kill. I kill 5 guys from my attacks, and from the breath weapon. Not 5. I kill more than 5. I kill almost the entire unit. I think I clean 12 in the end. But since they're taking initiative 0, they strike back. So Jolo throws 10 attacks at me, hitting me on 3s. He gets 7 hits with 2 battle focus 9. And then he wounds me on 5. And I go, what the fuck just happened? 5 wounds. And I roll armor saves, and I save 1. And you know what? Yeah, Ancestor is dead. So yeah. In retrospect, maybe I shouldn't have used the breath weapon. But then if I don't use a breath weapon and I don't lose this 1 wound on me, then he has more bodies left for the next round. Also, I didn't expect I'm going to roll 2 1s for the amount of hits, the breath weapon, so kind of unfortunate over here. Well, alright, I lost this guy, so I got half the points for flagellants and full points for rangers. Is it worth it? Absolutely not, but we have to deal with it, so we move to combat with the tank. And here is also the part where I'm missing having the chaff that had to deal with rangers to actually be chaffing the. That doesn't matter really. But basically we get to combat with the tank. And I go first. So I do 5 hits at the tank. Hit twice, wound twice, do 2d3 wounds, 3 wounds. Then my Feldrex hits, and I hit him on what? 4, so I have 6 hits with rerolling to hit. That gives me another 4, so 10 hits, wounding on 4s, 5 wounds, AP, they have halberds, so 3, I believe. And here are those saves, he fails 4, and the tank is dead. So as you can see, I decided to overrun with both, and this is where I end up. Flank on the Imperial Guard with my guy, I think over here, my lord. Could I have stand? No, well, I guess they're treating each other as open terrain, so maybe I could have flat stands and just close doors farther in. Close doors like over here. Doesn't matter really much. Doesn't matter either way. So here we are after my second turn, and it goes to Jolo. So Jolo decides to charge my Elder. He charges the wolves. I decided that since he doesn't have range to his Fiend General over there for the rerolls, I decided to actually flee, and I flee only 4 inches. So I was like, well, if I flee, I'll go over the house, he'll pursue, it'll open up those nice either flank charge or do something else with them. Unfortunately, this is what happens, and he charges also with his heavy infantry, charges the flank of the Feldrex. And here we are. He catches the wolves. He gets into the Eldar. He fails to rally and goes off the board with the Rangers. He positions the militia to welcome the wolves whenever they come in. And we go, and that's, yeah, and then he moves out the militia. Yeah, he moves the militia over here. And we go for magic. He fails to cast the Perception of Strength. Then I stop his other Perception of Strength, and he gets Word of Iron on the Imperial Guard, and he gets a 5 up ward save on them. And here we are. I just didn't have ranges to threaten his card, so the Bovians are distracting. This is not looking great for me. And we go to combat, right? Actually shooting still, so he shoots the few of those warriors, and we go into combat. So this is already there. I'm looking if I didn't say it. So basically, this guy hits the swordsman with a reroll, fails because of distracting, doesn't hit them once. This guy hits the Imperial Guard, fails to hit them once. Also, these two guys go after the BSB, and they hit and wound him 4 times. He fails all of his armor save and final board save. He dies. In return, he does, I don't know how it was, but this the combat that ends up being 7 to 15, because he's we both have a challenge. He's both have flank, but he has a big flank, ranks, banners, and all that. I ought to break. And this is looking grim. He pursues with both units, and he decides to pursue towards my lord. And yes, I failed my discipline. So maybe I lost by less than that. Failed my discipline. I flee 4 inches. He chases 10 and 10. So he gets his Imperial Guard into the rear of my lord. Just because things were not looking bad enough. So after the combat, here we are. In the rear with the gear, we have the whole unit of Imperial Guard fighting the rear of my lord. So we go to combat with the Eldar. I clean bunch of his flagellants, and flagellants strike back, hitting me on 4, I want to say, 10 hits, putting me on 5, 6 ones. I managed to save 2. So what the hell? kind of a moment. So on my turn, I decided that I didn't have any choice. I had to charge the flagellants, or I mean, I couldn't pivot past the flagellants into the flank of the Imperial Guard. I decided to clear the militia, and there was get on the board. Here we are. Magic. I'm able to cast both spells, roll to hit and roll to wound. I get both off. Joe just rolls really low when it comes to dispelling. And we get to combat. And flagellants kill my Eldar. Ouch. And then we go into the combat with the Lord. Joe challenges with his guy who was like a son with his prelate. And we go to the combat with the knights. The knights win the combat but fail to kill the enough of the unit. Reforms like that. We go into combat and I hit. I have 2 attacks. I hit twice. I wound twice. AP 10. He has a 5-up ward save. For me to do the D3 wounds, I'm like excited at this point, and Jello passes 2 of those ward saves, and I think I roll also for the horse. I lose the combat, and Jello decides not to pursue. And here we end up. I flee like 5 inches. He does a wound to me also in the challenge. So he decides not to pursue. He decides to reform, and at this point, I decided to concede the game because my lord is fleeing. Maybe I'll rally him, but at this point, what's the point? Because I'll clean the militia. He'll charge militia. He'll charge my warriors. I'll have to flee. He'll redirect into the warrior knights. Win or lose the combat is going to be steadfast their way. Reforms, and in the next phase kill the combat while he's shooting my lord, who may or may not rally. He shoots the walls, probably get them panicked, most likely off the board as well. And I decided that, you know what, there is not much to play for in this moment. If it will be a tournament, yes, I would probably try to play it because, you know, he has the flagellants on the board. Well, he can also actually charge the lord probably off the board at this point, maybe with them even. But even if he cannot charge, I'm not sure if he can charge off the board or not. He can charge over here. I flee. I'll probably end up. He'll charge again. I'll end up here. Charge. I'll end up here. Who knows? Maybe not, maybe not. But he can charge. I'll flee with the warriors. He redirects into the knights. Can charge the flank of the knights. He kills the knights. He kills the dogs. Let's say I rally the warriors, but even if they flee over here, he shoots them with the handguns. Even if I rally the lord and the warriors, there is not much I can fight for point wise. At this point, I would probably just have to continue even running and not look back. Maybe hide the lord in the ruin and just pray for some points. But here we are. So thanks for watching. Like it if you liked it. Subscribe. Let me know how many mistakes I did in my game, what I did wrong. And thanks for watching again. Peace.